it's time to start sanding. So I'm going to use this block, which is about the equivalent of 240 to 320 grit, more on the 240 side. And then this one will be the 320 to 400. So I'm going to start with the 240. This is already pretty smooth. So this is an 1/8 inch top, maple top. So I don't want to go crazy, but it's a little better than a veneer. It's thicker, not by much, but it is. So here we go, just getting it smooth. And now I use the 320 to 400 block. These are very delicate. I'll probably go in with a very small piece of sandpaper and go along these edges. They're a little rough. This is just a little too big to fit in there. Maple is a very close grain wood, so it's very smooth already. There's really not too much I needed to do here. Just get off the very rough, very top layer. Looking good. So now I'm just going to take a little piece of 600 grit sandpaper and just run it along the inside edge of the F-hole. Just get all the little rough edges. It's got some little nibs and stuff in there. So I'm just going to be very careful because, as you can see right here, that's really thin. So I have to be careful. So you can see some of the roughness there in the circular part. So I'm just going to clean that up. See, it's looking better already. So now all I'm going to do is wipe it down, wipe the top down with just a damp rag to raise the grain a little bit so that I can sand it off. And this won't take too much. I'm just taking the rag with that's a little bit damp. I'm just going to go over the top. That's all it really takes. Just get it a little bit wet to raise the grain, and then I can sand it off and it'll just stay smooth. This will avoid raising the grain when I stain it, which I'd rather not have to do. So there we go. Now, this is a maple top, so it doesn't really have, it's a very closed grain wood. but I can definitely feel that some of the grain has raised a little bit. And then I can go ahead and, once this dries a little bit, I can just sand it off. Okay, that's probably good enough. So now I'll just do some more sanding. You'll notice I already masked this off for staining because this has a binding, so I want to not have to do a lot of scraping of the binding. So I masked it off. And I'm also going to do the back and sides slightly differently than the top, so I'm masking some of that off as well. So when I do go to stain, I'm going to stain the top first. Okay, that ought to do it. Now I'll need to clean this off. You're not really supposed to touch the wood once you sand it and it's ready for staining because your oils can leave marks. So I need to clean this off with like acetone or mineral spirits or something just to get rid of all that. As well as any sawdust that's in there. So I'll go ahead and clean it and then we'll be ready for staining.